Well, hello. It's already been a long day for me. Woke up 2 something and got out of bed at 3 o'clock. Anyway, let me just give the title and the blurb that I wrote, and then we'll talk, or I'll share with you. Hearing the Cries of the People is the title for today's video. And here's the blurb. I just noticed it's 11:11 a.m. as I begin this blurb. Smiley face. I keep hearing people tell me and others to stay positive. It would be good advice if it meant that the most positive thing anyone can do is to tell the truth, your truth in the moment. However, that's not what is usually meant by such advice. What is normally implied is to stay away from negative thoughts and feelings. Suppress them if you must, but don't speak them. That gives them power of manifestation. To me, and maybe I've got it all wrong, that is the blueprint for how to live an inauthentic life. Is that what everyone else wants? It's not what I want. Healing my own shadow involves listening and giving voice to the cries of humanity that the establishment tries to suppress. The cries for truth and justice. The cries for equal and fair treatment under universal law. As I've said before, I will not be free until all are free. I'm on a mission to spread the message that we are all brothers and sisters, interconnected in a single web of life. I choose to hear the cries of the people. Let me just say that after I answered emails and sent out birthday greetings about 3:30 a.m., I joined with other delegates in a meeting on the internet, of course, and spoke my mind as to what I've been doing, and the support that I was given was really nice to feel, to hear. And I don't think anybody in the delegation intended to do anything wrong. I think each of us continues and has all along done what we felt was the best for everyone else. Even if we were wrong, and I've probably been wrong more than once in what I've done. I know I have throughout my life. I've done things that I thought were okay. They were in integrity at the time that I did them, but I didn't have all the information. I didn't know all the details. And sometimes I just react, and that's what humans do. We react to circumstances, to feelings, to challenges. We react. And I chose in this lifetime to experience the shadow elements of humanity. Thank God, I don't have to experience all of the brutality that some people experience. I don't have to experience some of the extreme illnesses and other things that humanity experiences, but I hear the cries. And my heart just naturally empathizes with those that suffer. As I've said in previous videos, all of my life I've rooted for the underdog, the victim, if you will, the person who's misjudged and rejected, those that society tries to ostracize and separate from the herd, because God forbid that the herd get infected with free thinking, with people that think outside the box. I mean, how would the programming of the culture hold up if people started thinking for themselves? as the little kid, that 13-year-old kid that was diagnosed as autistic when he was young, 2 years old, put in special education classes in his early childhood. By age 9, he was sneaking into the back room of university things, and at age 10, he was admitted as a university student. He's actually a genius. He was judged as never being able to learn, and his advice, I don't remember his name. Well, I could just quickly look it up, I'm sure. Here, it's on my web page now. It's on my weekend event page. His name is Jacob Barnett. And he said, forget what you know. Stop learning. Start thinking. Start creating. Good advice. But I hear the cries of the people. I hear the cries of those that have been misjudged and set off as apart from society as not worthy of respect, not worthy of being treated fairly, not worthy of being heard. I'd like to give voice, and I'd like to feel that I do give voice to those that are wounded, and to my own wounded child that is very much a soul fragment in my own being, and I'm very much aware of it. I think that's really positive. That's how you stay positive to me. You stay positive by being real, by being truthful, by being willing to be vulnerable, by being committed to going the extra mile, to tell it like it is, and to stand up for what you feel is right, what you think is the best. Even if you're wrong, you're the willingness to get it wrong and still do it anyway. The willingness to take risks. Because if this life experiment means anything, it means that we've taken risks. We who were connected to all of life chose to appear disconnected and to feel the feelings that go along with that disconnection, that separation from the father, from the mother, from all that is. Of course, we could never really be disconnected from all that is. The best we could do is create a convincing illusion, and we've done that. But my job is to give voice to those whose voices aren't being heard. The voices of the people who have been wounded by religions and by self-righteous attitudes of those within religions. The voices of those who have been imprisoned by the establishment for thinking differently or for behaving in an unapproved manner and for violating the propriety standards of a particular culture. It was good to hear the report of someone who just came back from spending, I don't know, I think it was over a week with Mr. Sino and the Indonesian delegates, the people that are really on the inside, and for hearing how much they love me and how much they appreciate me. And it brought tears to my eyes as I listened to this first-hand report out of Indonesia of some of the things that are happening there. It's not my job to share someone else's experience. That would be their job. Maybe I'll get that person on to do a conversation. I didn't think of that till this very moment, but I wonder if he'd be willing. I'm sure some of the ladies that have been over there as well would also be willing, and perhaps some of you would like to hear some things firsthand. One of the things that I did hear, and I will share, is that Swiss Indo has been in contact, people in the delegation have been in contact with Heather. And it would seem at this point that she's getting a different point of view than the one she has had previously about what Swiss Indo is all about. And I'm certainly being bolstered myself by hearing some of the reports come back. And this I know. Well, this I believe and feel strongly. I don't know that I know anything at this point, but I feel this very strongly to be true, that Mr. Sino is probably one of the most advanced souls on the planet right now. I used to think it was Anastasia, the Siberian recluse living up in the taiga in Russia, of course. But maybe it's Mr. Sino, who seems to be able to recognize a lot of things, a lot of things, including soul fragments and past life connections and the meaning of it all. But he is bound and determined to make sure that none of the funds over which he has control are ever released unless all of the people of the world are blessed by that release. Nothing is going to be given out to people that want to maintain the old system. And he has the ability, from what I'm told, to make sure that that's the way it is. And I was concerned that people might be pulling the wool over his eyes, or because he didn't get all of the information. The more I learn about Mr. Sino, the more I realize how absurd that fallacy of mine is. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to deceive him. And I do believe that, as people have shared with me, he is totally forgiving. He is non-judgmental. He is representing God on earth in physical form. I'm not going to share that yet. I'll share it in another video. In any case, my feelings, I'm feeling them. I've been feeling them all morning. I've been feeling them actually for the past few days as I release a whole lot of emotion, as I release a whole lot of stuff in my body through my nose mostly, and a little bit through coughing. There's a lot of things going on inside of me that I don't understand right now. I feel like there's huge changes that are happening. But I do feel that I've been on and continue to stay on the right path of listening to what some people label negative voices. Because those are the voices that need to be heard. Those are the issues that need to be addressed. Those are the concerns of humanity, that anyone who takes any leadership position and responsibility of serving humanity, we must pay attention to the least among us, to the weakest, to the most unenlightened and uninformed, to the most destitute, the most wounded. If we can't touch them, are we really aware that they are part of us, that it's all interconnected in a singular, cosmic, universal web of life? Are we aware of that? That there is no separation, that that's the lie that we created to experience together? Together, we experienced something which was impossible, which remains impossible, which will always be impossible. That we could be separate from God, that we could be separate from each other, that we could even be separated within ourselves, at war, within our own being, within our own consciousness. The little demon on the left shoulder and the little demon on the right, or the little angel on the right shoulder, each telling us something different and pulling us in an opposite direction. What a game we've created. This thing called human life. It's a beautiful thing. It's a frightening thing. Full of promise and potential. Full of danger. full of pain and suffering and full of ecstasy and joy. Well, I'm looking for more ecstasy and joy right now, thank you very much. But I realize that much of humanity still cries. And I choose to hear those cries and to give voice to those who have been abused and victimized. And the cries that we don't hear so much, the cries of the victimizers, who themselves have been victimized by an idea, by training, to do that which is the darkest role, the most heinous crime. Yeah, even those are part of me, and even their voice must be heard. The voice that has been suppressed, that we don't hear, that we don't see, that we don't have much evidence about because they wear such a heavy facade and wear such an elaborate mask that God forbid we should ever see the pain that's deep inside that heart, that soul, that fragment. But even those cries need to be heard, because even they are God's children. And when I say God, I don't mean to be speaking in a gender-specific way at all, because I include the goddess. God is androgynous, sexless, genderless, all and in all. That's God, all that is. Anyway, this is where I am today, on the 18th, but this is the video for the 19th day of February. And I send my blessing out to each of you. And I accept the responsibility of hearing the cries of the wounded and bringing health and hope, and as much as I can, inspiration to every soul, inviting you to come home. Thank you for listening. Namaste.